Redeemed, rehabilitated, and real entertaining. This is the Carl Jackson Podcast.
Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. I want to talk to you about the big guy, how the big guy continues to get richer while the rest of us grow poorer. So we're going to be talking about that, what's happening with the Ohio train derailment situation in Palestine, Ohio. The residents there are getting frustrated and mad, as well they should be. But no worries, Pete Buttigieg has said that, hey, he's very concerned about the, this is what he's thinking, this is what a racist would say, about the white crackers in Palestine, Ohio. That's how he thinks of them. You realize that, right? That's the way that Pete Buttigieg thinks of the lower class whites in Palestine, Ohio. And they're not blacks. They're not people or voters that he needs to pander to. I suspect Democrats possibly would not get their votes. I don't know. I don't know the makeup of the town, but I do know that Pete Buttigieg doesn't seem very concerned. There's no sense of urgency when it comes to the people of Palestine, Ohio. And guys, why is this story important? Why am I not letting go of this story? Because it represents how the Biden administration thinks about you and I, the little people. They don't care about us because they don't know us. They don't want to know us. They are a bunch of elites, and I'm getting ready to prove that based upon more information that has come out about the Biden crime syndicate. All right, guys, welcome back here. Listen, I just want to tackle some of the things that were in the tip sheet today, some news, some headlines that you might be interested in, or I think you perhaps should be interested in. If I could click on them and find them, that would be a great thing, wouldn't it, Gabe? Oh, my God. All right, so I do have the headlines. Here we go. All right, I just want to make sure that I'm able to read up on these to you guys today so that you are well informed about the news that's cracking or that's popping today, if you will. So this is what's on the Daily Daybreak. And again, what I've done is introduced my Daily Five, or the Jackson's Five is what we're calling it. Guys, please be sure to subscribe to my podcast wherever podcasts are found, wherever you go to get your podcasts. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd really like to grow that. Subscribe to our Instagram on social media. All places, social media, The Carl Jackson Show, YouTube and Rumble. The Carl Jackson Show is where you can find us. Don't forget about our sponsors, My Pillow. They have My Pillow 2.0. All you have to do to get that pillow, you're gonna love it. It's a little more fancy, a little more sleek. The outer material is a little cooler. You know what I need to do? The next time I'm on, Gabe, remind me. I need to just show you guys what it looks like. Lay my head against it, and oh my God, and just feel the softness. I absolutely love the My Pillows. I honestly wouldn't ever buy another pillow. I absolutely love them. You will too. Give them a call, 800-858-0263, 800-858-0263. Use the promo code Carl for all discounts that are available. And there's items there that are up to 70% off exclusively for my listeners as well. Guys, this train derailment in Ohio, you see what's happened in Turkey and Syria with the earthquake. China is taking over the United States of America. You never know when you're going to need, or why now, why you're going to need a food supply, a survival food kit. If you would go to my friends at 4Patriots, that's the number 4patriots.com. Guys, here's a dirty little secret. I already bought from them before they even became a sponsor. We have their kits stacked up in a safe place to make sure that my family is good in case of an emergency if food becomes hard to get. So that's how much I like this product and this company. We already purchased them. Pretty cool. All right, so now, this isn't ordinary food. 25 years of super survival food. It's hand-packed in a family-owned facility right here in the USA. They've created 200 jobs. The kits are compact, they're sturdy, they're water-resistant, and they stack easily. They have different delicious breakfast meals, lunch, dinners. They're ready to go in just 20 minutes. All you have to do is add boiling water, simmer, and serve. You're good to go. If you go to the number4patriots.com, use the promo code Carl, use my name, CARL, you'll get 10% off of your first purchase. This includes a 3-month survival kit, and you'll get a year-long guarantee, plus free shipping on orders that are over $97. They're called 4patriots.com for a reason, because a portion of every sale goes to help out a charity that supports veterans and their families. 4patriots.com. Make sure you have your survival kit. Take care of your family, and you get the added bonus of taking care of some vets. All right, Jackson's 5. Here we go. VP Kamala Harris does not see China as an adversary. Perhaps that's because she's been told by Joe Biden they're a business partner. They're not an adversary. I don't know how you could come out and say something so dumb, especially when you're the vice president of the United States. My bad. That was a dumb statement for me to say, given that Kamala Harris is the vice president of the United States. Hat tip Daily Wire. In order to solve a problem, the first step is to acknowledge that you have one. For the Biden administration, that means admitting that China is an enemy of the United States. And I totally agree with that. China is our enemy. They want to take us over. That's what they're aiming to do. Yet, despite the Chinese Communist Party's affront to American sovereignty via spy balloons and other intrusions, VP Kamala Harris still views the Red Dragon as a respected challenger to the U.S. instead of as the geopolitical threat that they are. Again, this is from Daily Wire. Now, Fox News. Harris made the comments in a Tuesday interview with Politico, arguing the U.S. seeks, quote, competition, close quote, with China, not, however, she says, conflict or confrontation, quote, close quote. And then she goes on to say, and I'm quoting, I don't think so when it comes to, I don't think so. No, she said, regarding whether relations might be affected. Many lawmakers on Capitol Hill have expressed outrage at China's willingness to infringe on U.S. sovereignty, but Kamala Harris and the Biden administration aren't worried about it at all. No problem. Nothing to see here. Guys, the left is dangerous. They are absolutely dangerous. China, I'm sad to say, would probably eat our lunch at this point. I don't know this for a fact. I'm speculating. But I just suspect that China has their claws in America much further and deeper than we would have ever imagined, given what we've seen with these spy balloons. Now, let me take you to this. Let me take you to this. Representative Jim Jordan subpoenas big tech heads for speech suppression investigations. This, according to Fox News. Representative Jordan of Ohio subpoenaed Alphabet CEO. Also, the Apple CEO, Tom Cook, Facebook CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon CEO, Andy Jassy, and Microsoft CEO, as well, to turn over records by March 23rd. Microsoft spokesperson said that they have started producing documents, are engaged with the committee, and committed to working in good faith, quote unquote. In December, before Republicans took the majority of the House of Representatives, Jordan requested documents and communications from the executives related to big tech censorship. At the time, Jordan and Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee said they had evidence that big tech companies were, quote, colluding with the Biden administration to suppress free speech online. Guys, we know that to be the case with the Twitter files. The Twitter files have been absolutely damaging, but the left-wing media is ignoring them. Why? Because they're all in cahoots, from the left-wing media to big tech to, sadly, our FBI and DOJ. They are in cahoots together to fundamentally transform America into a Chinese communist country. And I say Chinese communist country because these guys are fools if China were to take over, if they think they would be the ones that would remain in charge. They're complete and utter useful idiots for the Chinese Communist Party, in my opinion. But big tech censorship is a very big deal. It's huge. Obviously, we know based upon Miranda Devine's book, Laptop from Hell, that I think is anywhere from 6 to 9% of voters walked away from exit polling saying that had they known about Hunter Biden's laptop, they would have never voted for Joe Biden himself. They had no idea he was that crooked and corrupt. Sad to say, but this is the truth. So big tech censorship is huge. You know why? If you sit here and think about it, you know why the left hated Trump tweeting so much? In my opinion, I know a lot of Republicans couldn't stand it either, but the reason why the left hated it is because he was successful. And the reason why the left wanted to censor people like the Babylon Bee or other people, whether it's Charlie Kirk, whether it's Dan Bongino, other conservatives that are helping them in the fight for freedom, and myself, little peons like myself, as a matter of fact. I'm having issues with Facebook now. So when you go to Facebook and all my social media sites, please don't just look at them. I'm begging you to share them. When it's places like YouTube, like, rate, review, that's going to help us grow. Otherwise, they're going to keep us squashed. They're going to keep our reach low. And that's exactly what the left wants to do. But big tech censorship is a huge problem. We have a First Amendment in this country. And it needs to be abided by. And these people do not have the right to censor our speech while lefties get to stand up. Another one, Senator Rand Paul enters COVID-19 vaccination non-discrimination act. Just the News had tips. Senator Rand Paul and Representative Dan Bishop, both Republicans, obviously introduced the COVID-19 vaccination non-discrimination act, quote unquote, to prohibit federal funds from being given to medical facilities that refuse to treat patients based on their jab status. Rand Paul, a Kentucky Republican, said his legislation would, quote, protect the rights of vulnerable patients to make their own healthcare choices and ensure that federal taxpayer dollars do not support facilities that turn away patients based on their COVID-19 jab status. Guys, these hospital conglomerates are becoming an extension of big government. You don't think socialized medicine is here? It's here. It's here. And until Republicans, thank God Rand Paul is doing something about it, it's going to be here to stay because doctors are increasingly scary people. There's not a lot of, unfortunately, there aren't too many doctors that have courage, and the ones that do have courage are silenced by big tech. What do you know? But this nonsense has to stop. I'll talk about this tomorrow. Didn't have time to go through it the way that I wanted to today because of some issues that we had earlier in the program. But Daniel Horowitz is at it again at Conservative Review. You guys might not have known this, but with all the news from the Ohio train derailment, the spy balloons in the sky, Biden. The Biden crime syndicate, all important stories. But did you guys know that this jab for kids has been passed? Like now kids will have to get their immunization shot, which will be a jab. I don't know if this applies to all parts of the country, but I'll get into that tomorrow. But Daniel Horowitz has been following this. He and Steve Deace have been doing a fabulous job. They're both with the Blaze. So they've been doing a fabulous job. Guys, listen, we're in the fight for freedom. I don't care who gets the credit. I want you to know who to listen to on certain issues that we can trust that are going to help us to win the fight for freedom. All right, number 4 on the Jackson's 5. There's one here. Excuse me just a second. Let me scroll down here. Number 4. This should be 3B. Chicago's homeless population flocked to O'Hare Airport. Guys, it's going to get so bad in blue cities. People are going to be forced to flee. I mean, the homelessness crisis is going to get worse. Crime is going to get worse. People are fleeing these blue states and cities left and right. New York has lost so many people in the last couple of years. It's unbelievable. California has lost 700,000 of their residents in the last 2 years. Democratic policies absolutely fail. So please, if you move from a blue state, a blue city, do not vote for Democrats. All right. That's the quickest way to screw up your new dwelling place. It's to vote for Democrats. Don't do it. So number 4 on Jackson's 5 is this. 15 state AGs send letter to Biden denouncing his call for an assault weapons ban. You guys might remember he did this at his State of the Union address. This, according to Town Hall, more than 12 state attorneys general put. I always get confused with that attorneys general. It just sounds so weird to me, but it makes sense. There's a number of attorneys and then one is a general, but it just sounds weird. I would always say attorney general in the past, but it's attorneys general put President Joe Biden on notice Wednesday with a letter slamming his State of the Union call for an, quote, unconstitutional, close quote, ban on assault weapons. Guys, I hate this terminology, assault weapons. There's no such thing as an assault weapon, or if you would say there is, plenty of things could be categorized as an assault weapon. A shoe could, if somebody used it to assault someone. A knife could, a hammer could, you name it, a stick. Anything could be used as an assault weapon, but I hate the fact that even conservatives have glommed onto this phrase, assault weapons, to make these guns, these sporting rifles, these self-defense rifles, these 2A rifles sound big and bad. Assault weapons back in the day when they did the assault weapons ban, they based it on nothing more than plastic parts that could be affixed to people's rifles. That's all that it was about. But they're trying to get crazy. So this effort has been led by Montana AG Austin Newton. Good job, Montana. The attorneys general put Biden on notice that, quote, with every tool at our disposal, we will oppose your attempt to trample on Americans' fundamental right to defend themselves with guns. Guys, the truth of the matter is there's approximately 2 million. Go to John Lott's site. Oh, God, what if you just look up John Lott, the author of More Guns, Less Crime. I forget the name of his think tank now, basically, but he has all the stats there. There are approximately about 2 million gun defenses every year in the United States. A good guy with a gun stopping a crime. That could be a police officer. It could be a private citizen. If we were to number the amount of good gun uses daily, it would far outweigh the number of times that criminals use guns to do something bad. So guns are a good thing. And you have to ask yourself, why would the Biden administration want to disarm you? That's the question you have to ask. This bully for President Joe Biden, why would he want to disarm you? Keep in mind that we've got political prisoners in Washington, D.C. that were protesting mostly peacefully, let into the Capitol building, many of them by police officers. Julie Kelly of AM Greatness has been documenting this. She's the best one, in my opinion, to follow on this. And yet these people are still in jail. It's amazing to me. All right. So do not let these people disarm you. All right. Now, here's a poll that I found interesting. Republican voters care more about culture wars than other issues. Guys, this stuff is so important because our values are being trampled on. It's the way in which the left is censoring us, too. Going back to this big tech issue, right? You speak out about trans nonsense. You speak out about all things that the left that's important to the left. They silence you. And why is this stuff important to the left? It's not because they care about these issues per se. They care about creating victims. And if you can convince people that they're not victims, then the Democrat Party won't own them. The Democrat Party, they're not interested in making sure that their voters are successful. They want to make sure that their voters feel like they're being trampled upon. They want to make sure that their voters feel like they're victims. Why do they want to do that? They want to do that because if their voters feel like they're victims, Democrats can come in and say, hey, we're going to save the day. You're going to have to give us more power. You're going to have to vote for Democrats. But if you give us more power, we're going to take care of you. We're going to back you up. That's exactly what the Democrat Party is doing. They know of what they are doing. So this is absolutely fascinating to me. Guys, I want to remind you to please support my sponsors, MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com, American products, American manufacturing, American jobs, and great products. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Carl, CARL. Just click on the radio listener square at the top of the page or give them a call, 800-858-0263, 800-858-0263, or go to, our latest sponsor, or one of our newer sponsors, 4patriots.com. Guys, again, for first-time buyers, if you use my name and for the promo code, you'll get 10% off of your first purchase of 25-year survival food. And please take advantage of this. I want your families to be safe. I want your families to be prepared. I think we're entering into scary times. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, but I just think that's where we're headed. There's a 3-month survival kit included. You'll get a year-long guarantee plus free shipping on products that are over $97. Go to 4Patriots, the number 4Patriots.com. A portion of every sale goes to help out charities that help out veterans and their families. 4Patriots.com. Use the promo code Carl. Let me get to a couple of stories here real quick if I can find them. I want to get to I want you to understand that the left has no intention of making your lives better. And I want you to understand that the left, and I'm speaking about the president on down, they intend to enrich themselves. They intend to empower themselves, but they don't want the same for you. If they did, the Democratic Party structure would totally break down. If more people were successful, if more people that worked hard said, wait a minute, I'm not going to allow crooked politicians in Washington, D.C. to take more of my pay, the Democrat Party knows that it would end. So they have to focus on victims. They have to focus on making people angry and mad. And so when people get angry and mad, Democrats come in and say, I'll save the day for you. I'll fight against those racist, bigoted homophobes in the Republican Party. And they're like, yeah. Take more of my money. And then Biden says, oh, thank you for giving me more of my money or more of your money. We're not going to do jack squat, but you're going to feel good about voting for us, and we're going to continue to make you mad. You're going to continue to vote Democrat, and we're going to continue to pretend like we're going to champion you and pretend like we actually want the best for you, but they don't want the best for you. Hat tip Breitbart. Court docs, James Biden secretly negotiated a $140 million deal with the Saudis, the Saudis that they claim to hate, due to a relationship with Joe Biden. You don't say. So James Biden secretly negotiated a $140 million settlement deal in 2012 between a U.S. company and the Saudi Arabian government due to his relationship with his brother, Vice President Joe Biden. Court documents have just revealed this. The revelation represents one more instance of the Biden family business peddling influence while President Joe Biden was an elected official. House Oversight Committee, James Comer already has copies of the court documents and is investigating the scandal as part of his probe into the Biden crime family for 9 violations that include wire fraud, tax evasion, and money laundering. Here's how the story goes. In 2011, the Saudis refused to pay $140 million to a U.S. construction company. The construction company is called Hill International. So James Biden was brought in to be the younger brother of Joe Biden was brought in to negotiate the settlement deal between the U.S. and the U.S. company, Hill International, and the Saudi government, because the Saudis, quote, would not dare stiff the brother of the vice president who would be instrumental to this deal. All right. Now, Gabe, I think it's very important that after reading that you play a piece of audio and video that we have. Subscribe to our YouTube page, The Carl Jackson Show on YouTube, so that you can watch the video. But I just want to reiterate this. I want to reiterate this point. James Biden, the younger brother of Joe Biden, was brought in to negotiate the settlement deal between the U.S. company and the Saudi Arabian government because the Saudis would not dare stiff the brother of the VP who would be instrumental to the deal. That's a quote. That's a quote from the Bidens. Unbelievable. Let's go ahead and roll the tape here, Gabe.
Everything. Thanks for coming down. We appreciate it.
By the
I
way,
picked the food.
you read some, no one fucks with nobody.
Yeah, goddamn right.
And you can't argue with your brothers outside the house.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right. Good to see you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So that's good. That's good. But you get the message. You get the message. No one F's with the Biden, he says. And I thought maybe we would believe it. But no one F's with a Biden. No one F's with a Biden. That's what he says. And now he means it. And they take that seriously. When they go to steal money for themselves, to enrich themselves, James Biden, listen, he knew that he was brought in because he knew the Saudis, quote, would not dare stiff the brother of the vice president who would be instrumental to the deal. So James Biden had a prior business relationship with the U.S. company subsidiary, that's Hill International. Former U.S. Treasury official Thomas Sullivan, who was working to settle the deal as a private consultant, twice stated in an affidavit that James Biden was hired to negotiate with the Saudis, quote, because of his position and relationship, close quote, with then VP Biden. The business negotiation ultimately resulted in a $132 million settlement. So here's how the rest of the story goes. So you had Hill International. Hill International was trying to work with the Saudi government. Hill International brought in a law firm. What is the name of this law firm to help negotiate the settlement? But the law firm wasn't having much success. I'm trying to find the name of the law firm. Oh, Langford and Reed. They were partners in this deal. And basically what happened is Joe Biden's brother comes in, saves the day, cuts the attorneys out of the deal. So the Biden family got it cut, and the settlement ended up being $132 million. And so then the law firm deposed and started to investigate James Biden. These fools are dirty as all get out. While the Bidens grow richer, Americans continue to grow poor. Let me just go to just real quick, read you some headlines from Real Clear Politics that I think are very important on the economy. All right, so the Bidens are still getting richer. I have no doubt that the Bidens are still making money while Biden is the president. Wholesale inflation surges up just over a half of a percentage point. The CBO predicts, that's the Congressional Budget Office, predicts higher unemployment, persistent inflation, $19 trillion and more debt. That means you're going to be paying for more things that don't seem to work. It's absolutely asinine to me. It's crazy where we are, but this is where we find ourselves. So the Bidens continue to get richer while Americans are going to continue to grow poor, and they're going to demand that you pay more money in taxes. Is that fair? Of course it's not fair, but it doesn't matter. Hat tip Daily Wire, FBI searches University of Delaware for Biden, docs report. So see, they have it good. They're living high on the hog. That's not going to be the case for you. This is what you need to understand about this Biden crime family. And frankly, everybody in Washington, D.C. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat, although I would argue that Democrats tend to be far more corrupt. But these fools go to Washington, D.C. Guys, they're out of reach. They're out of touch. They don't care about you. They exist in a bubble once they get there. This is why I feel like they should only be allowed to go there for a vote and then have to return home. I don't think they should even be allowed to eat at the Capitol building, frankly. They should be able to go out on the street like everyone else and go buy a burger or whatever else at nearby restaurants. And I think the Supreme Court needs to be moved to a place like Montana. I don't even think the Congress and the presidency should be in it. I don't think any of these people should be in Washington, D.C. People argue about term limits all the time. I don't think that's the solution. I think the solution is getting these fools out of Washington, D.C., where they become friends and they talk together and all this kind of nonsense. All right, so the FBI searches the University of Delaware for Biden documents. A report claims the FBI conducted 2 searches of the University of Delaware, part of the investigation into President Joe Biden's handling of classified documents. This, according to a new report. Did you know about that? Yeah. So this just broke. So the FBI has been conducting some searches on the University of Delaware. They said they were going to do it. We didn't know they were done. A source told CNN the searches were conducted in recent weeks with the cooperation of Biden's legal team. Man, isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So you may have classified documents. Perhaps you have, or perhaps you have stuff that you have no business having regardless. But your legal team can come out and work out an agreement with the DOJ and FBI. I bet you Trump wish he had that sweet deal. Materials taken in the searches didn't appear to have classified markings. Oh, they didn't appear to. But they are now under review by the FBI because we know the FBI are full of a bunch of good people. The University of Delaware and the FBI deferred comment to the DOJ. The Daily Wire reached out to the DOJ but got no comment. Neither Biden's attorneys nor the White House released any statements on the newly revealed searches as of 9 p.m. Eastern last night. That's amazing. The president's representatives have said in the past they did not want to get ahead of the investigators. Guys, remember what I told you. These special counsels were brought in not to reveal evidence against Joe Biden, but to hide it and to buy time. And that's exactly what they're going to continue to do. The documents controversy dates back to obviously in November, but this is a scandal. All right, classified documents dating back to Biden's time as VP or even as a U.S. senator have been found at the Wilmington location, but no such materials with classified markings were discovered at Rehoboth location. But I wonder about this: did Biden take notes? You know, when he went into the SCIF, I didn't know what a SCIF was, but when he went into the SCIF to read these classified documents, is it possible that he, just jotted out a few notes? I don't know. I don't know how it works there. Oh, look at this. Look at this. The Bidens grow richer as you continue to grow poor. Hat tip Breitbart. Exclusive. Secret China donations to University of Delaware soared after the opening of the Biden Institute. A second university has been found to have received more than $6.7 million in anonymous donations from China, including direct funding from the Chinese government, but only after Joe Biden set up a program there in his name. According to a government accountability institute, the revelation comes following reporting that anonymous China-linked funds flowing to the University of Pennsylvania almost tripled after the inauguration of the Penn Biden Center, which illegally housed classified documents. Isn't that special? On March 13, 2007, less than 7 weeks after concluding his second term as VP, Joe Biden announced the founding of the Biden Institute at his home state, University of Delaware. And according to the announcement, part of Biden's, quote, vision for the Institute is an annual conference at the University of Delaware, similar to the World Economic Forum or the Aspen Institute, quote, unquote. Wow. At the time of Biden's announcement at UD, multiple members of the Biden family were working on deals worth millions of dollars and foreign businessmen linked to the highest levels of Chinese intelligence. Listen to the money trail here, guys. Prior to hosting the Biden Institute at UD, they had never disclosed any funding from China. Never disclosed any funding from China prior to Biden. 1 year later, and just 2 months after the Penn Biden Center opened its D.C. office, anonymous donations from China to the UD skyrocketed. The first payment came in April 2018 for $3,204,070 from an anonymous donor in China. In December 2018, another anonymous donation from China arrived for $1,869,000 and 515 buckaroonies. A third anonymous China-linked payment for $624,000, 904 bucks, arrived in December 2019. In 2020, the year that Biden was campaigning for president, anonymous Chinese state-linked entities sent three major payments totaling $1,005,000, 761 bucks to the UD, the bulk of which arrived after Biden had been declared the president-elect. Three of these donations from China, with a combined total of $5,000, 761 bucks, were reported as coming from a, quote, foreign government source, close quote. This according to the Department of Education. All right. These guys are just racking it up. Let me close out with this. I just want to make quick mention of what's happening with this situation in Ohio. Buttigieg is concerned about the impact of Ohio. You guys may now realize you had Mark DeWine, you had, Joe Shapiro, who's now the governor of Pennsylvania. Both of them said, hey, nothing to see here. We're going to do a controlled burn. This vinyl chloride, everything should be fine. They decided to burn these materials from this train that derailed, 5 cars or whatever that crashed or ended up derailing. And well, actually, there's a lot more than 5 cars, but I guess initially there was a brake that was apparently for 20 miles. This brake lever or something was just sparking up flames. No one seemed to see it. They shouldn't be carrying some of these materials in this manner, because obviously, as opposed to carrying these materials in a tube, which I understand some can't be, but there's going to be a lot of jostling around in a truck or a train. So these fools burn this stuff up. The Pete Buttigieg is nowhere to be found. Now he finally comes out as of a couple of days ago, and he says, hey, he's concerned by the impacts of the trail derailment near East Palestine. You have over 3,500 fish that have been reported dead. I've seen stories, and obviously they're anecdotal, but those people are there actually experiencing stuff that they hadn't experienced before: skin irritation, throat irritation, diarrhea. This is happening with their pets as well. And these fools want us to believe that these dangerous chemicals, there was nothing to see. And it took this guy, Pete Buttigieg, days or over a week to finally say, oh, so I'm concerned. He says, I continue to be concerned about the impacts of the February 3rd train derailment near East Palestine, Ohio, and the effects on families in the 10 days since their lives were upended through no fault of their own. He says, now he wants to sound sweet. This guy who behind his breath or underneath his breath, I think are saying these little poor white crackers. That's what I think he's saying. Remember, he's trying to pander to black people, talking about how too many whites have construction jobs. This guy is a complete and utter disgrace. We're going to continue to follow the story. I got to make a run here, honestly, but we're going to dive into the story even more tomorrow. I'm going to go into the story that Daniel Horowitz had written about, because you guys might not have heard this, but now this jab is going to be a part of immunizations for some kids to get into schools. This is scary. This is crazy. These people don't care for us. The Bidens are getting richer. They're getting more powerful. You're getting poorer and less powerful. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Please subscribe wherever podcasts are found: Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. Also, join us on social media, The Carl Jackson Show, wherever I am: Facebook, Twitter, Truth Social, Getter, Instagram. I'll check you out there. Until next time, guys, don't grow weary doing good. God bless.